Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of Frack The Canon. They said it couldn't be done, that it wouldn't be done, and no one said that, but here we are, CJ, 4 episodes in. Again, as always, CJ McCree from LA. Hi, CJ. What's up?
Hi.
So how do you feel, man? 4 episodes in. No one said we could do it. Dude. Next show, like you said, clip show. Best of. Nothing, nothing but black on the screen. Just the intro and black. Alrighty. So this episode, we're going to be talking about some stuff that should be pretty exciting for people who don't have lives. CJ, we were talking about Sleepy Hollow lately. And if you want to give us a little recap of what Sleepy Hollow is, and then I'll fill in some stuff too. Mr. McCree.
Okay. So Sleepy Hollow is that show that I never thought that I would like ever in a million years, because it's like this curious mix of everything that I hate. It has like, first of all, it's a show based on sort of based on a movie, but based on lore.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're trying to, the idea of Sleepy Hollow, obviously, the Tim Burton movie is like our most recent introduction into that, or introduction, our most recent foray into the world of Sleepy Hollow.
Right.
So it's definitely not that show. It's something completely different. And when I started watching it, it actually really hooked me. Basically, it takes sort of the legend of Sleepy Hollow loosely. You have Ichabod Crane, who was this guy. He was this turncoat, basically, who was kind of like a spy for the early Americans, who was working on our side. He's killed on the battlefield under supernatural pretenses.
By this guy, he get killed by the Headless Horseman. And there he is right there. Go ahead, sorry, continue. Sorry. So anyways, I think you froze a little bit, so I'll pick it up. He gets killed in the battlefield of the Civil War, and Revolutionary War, Revolutionary War. And go ahead,
sorry.
You were saying? Because you froze. The show must go on, CJ.
No, I know. Anyways, he wakes up to it. He wakes up in our time, and then all of a sudden, he finds out that the Headless Horseman was actually one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. And it's like all this crazy things happen. His son's still alive, and he's one of the horsemen of apocalypse. And
he's War, right? Isn't his son War, the War of the War, the Horseman War?
Yeah, the Horseman War, played by know that guy's name?
I don't. It's some old guy, but he's really good. I like him.
Yeah, he's from the show Fringe.
The
old guy from Fringe. Yeah, but no, he's rad. He has an awesome voice. I really like his voice, actually. It's like deep and like awesome. But yeah, he finds out his son's still alive, and like his wife is like trapped in like purgatory or something.
Yeah, that's right. Because she's the witch, right? Like, yeah. It's a good-looking cast. Everyone there is good-looking.
She's the one that put the spell on him to bring him back to life. It sounds crazy. This is the craziest thing ever sounding show. But it was like awesome. Like I didn't expect this much from that show. And for the first 2 seasons, like it was really interesting and really engaging.
Because it's about they're fighting off the devil pretty much. It's all the devils, like the big one, right? Like whoever. It's based on Judeo-Christian teachings. It's that devil, right? Mm-hmm. Right. It's Malekith, right? Malik. And then this season, they're fighting Pandora. And this is their second tribulation, their second big adversary they have to fight. I'm like, I love Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology. But I'm like, it's not as strong as the first season, but it's still funny. It's still funny, so I'm still hooked. But I'm behind 2 episodes because I've been busy. But that's how I feel. It's not as good as the first 2 seasons.
I like that you said it's still funny, because that's like sort of what keeps drawing me back. Because I really like the chemistry between the characters. Like that's the biggest thing in the show to me. The main characters of Ichabod Crane and the detective that he works with, Abby Mills.
Yeah.
First off, I should say it's a procedural show, sort of. You know what I mean? So it's like they get cases. And they solve the case by the end of the show. You know what I mean? There's like an overarching sort of story arc happening in each season, but it's pretty much procedural show. You know what I mean? So it's like buddy cop dramedy. You know what I mean? About these 2 guys, or this guy and this girl, and how they
How they're falling in love, kind of. Which
of our time, and then within you have the cop is off of him, and they have fun with that sort of dichotomy.
So you froze a little bit, so you might have to repeat that about how take it back. So pretty much, I guess you were saying about it was about Abby and Ichabod kind of working together, and at least the way I took it was that they're not playing with that is Abby Mill's sister, who is also a hunter, and she got possessed. Is that season 1 or season 2? Do you remember?
I honestly don't even remember that clip.
But I do remember her. She did get possessed, but I don't remember what season it was though. But
yeah, that was probably season 1 actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like one of the reasons I was saying I like the show so much is because of the chemistry between them, between the two. You know, I mean, you have Ichabod Crane's character, the fish out of water character, the man from the past, living in the future, helping the sort of tough as nails, hard boiled Abby Mills, hard boiled / skeptic Abby Mills, and they sort of have their little back and forth, that sort of dichotomy that makes this great chemistry between the two, you know, because they have to sort of learn to work with each other. And not only that, but they sort of learn to befriend each other and to trust each other too.
I love that she's a skeptic too, because she's a skeptic, but yet she's seen all these things. And I'm like, you've seen the Horsemen, you've seen death, you've seen all the other weird monsters from mythology and from folklore, and you still... I find it a little bit tiring a little bit. I'm like, you've seen all this stuff happen before. Why are you still fighting it? But, you know, but I don't know. That's my one little, with that character, that's my one little issue. But overall, I'm still loving it. It's funny. And that's kind of hopefully.
You know, I feel like in the first couple of seasons, they had a lot, they were building off of this same story. You know what I mean? They're fighting Malik the first 2 seasons. And everything that Ichabod Crane went through in the past sort of was leading him to this. So he has all these insights from what he used to be doing before he, you know, died and was in hibernation or whatever, that have to do with what they're going through now.
Right.
You know what I mean? With them fighting Malik, and that all built on one another. You know what I mean? But now and this, see, back to now, it just seems more, I don't know, arbitrary, I guess.
Yeah. Alrighty. But yeah, so season 3 is not as good. In recap, season 3 is not as good as season 1 and 2. We can agree. I think season 2, the stakes got higher. Season 3, I think it's because it's Greek mythology, and Greek mythology is very loose. You know, whereas the Judeo-Christian thing is a little bit more strict, so these are the things that happen. And I also love the alternate history of George Washington and Ben Franklin being these witch hunters too, which I always love alternate history kind of stuff. It depends how well it's done, but yeah. So, would you like to add?
Well, all I was gonna say is it is only episode 3.
Yep.
They still got a long.
They have a long way to go. I'm assuming you're trying to say.
I love the first 2 seasons, so I'm not willing to give up on it so quickly.
Yes. Me too. I love that it came. I forgot that show was gone because of Hulu. I'm like, I don't know what to watch anymore. I don't know what I'm watching until Hulu comes back. Alrighty. So, new show this season that I am watching because everyone knows I love Jamie Alexander. I love her as Lady Sif. And if there's a picture of there that we have, if we can bring up that picture of Jamie Alexander kicking butt as Lady Sif, there she is in all her Asgardian glory. So I love Jamie Alexander because she's pretty, but she's also a pretty good actress. So right now, she has a show that started off with her being naked in Times Square, full of tattoos, called Blind Spot. And then if we have a picture of that, there we go, of her. There you got it. Like, how would you not see that? Why would you not watch that show? Me, especially. But it's a procedural again. And it's the guy who created The Flash and Arrow, and he's doing Supergirl. And it's about this lady who has amnesia with all these tattoos, which we all know, everyone saw. I'm pretty sure everyone saw the intro. But it becomes so predictable that I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I could keep watching this show, because she figured out who she is. They figured out that she was a girl that was kidnapped when she was a little girl, and the guy who found her was taking care of her. And then a lot of the cliffhangers, it's very much a comic book cliffhanger. Like season 1 of The Flash, if you haven't seen it yet, please cover your ears. Spoilers. We all know that Professor Zoom is Tom, JD's brother from Scrubs. I don't know the actor's name, but he's Professor Zoom. And they're doing that too with Blind Spot. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're not hinting, you're just giving out the way the plot in episode 1. And so to me, I find that very, very frustrating. And I'm gonna keep watching it because of Jamie Alexander with tattoos. What were your thoughts on Blind Spot when you saw it?
I didn't see Blind Spot.
No, but I mean the teaser, or did that interest you at all? The premise?
I mean, I thought that it seemed very interesting.
Right.
Like to me, like me and you talk a lot, and I'm a big fan of fall TV season, like when new shows are coming out.
Right.
I'm just like stoked for that season. I really want to see them out. Like, oh, is it going to be good? Is it something I can get hooked in? But I think that I think the plot sounded really cool. So I was really interested in watching Blind Spot. I still haven't seen it yet, but it's something that I'll probably check out. I don't know, when it gets on Netflix, I'll just binge watch it, But what you were saying about them giving up sort of the plot, kind of like they did in Flash, what I mean? Like we knew very early on that, Harrison Wells was Reverse Flash.
Right, yeah.
That's not something that they usually do, but it's an interesting way to do things. I mean, we say it's backwards, but they just sort of have never done it before. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong, because you kind of can play with certain things with that. You can kind of play with suspense. You know what I mean? You can kind of play with different things like, oh, is this person going to find out? And what happens when they do find out? You know what I mean? Like, oh, because, he's kind of clever. He's kind of conniving. You know what I mean? How can they outwit this person? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. When I watch procedurals, I tell you, Renee, we talk about it all the time. I'm kind of a sucker for like the cop drama show. Right. The cop procedural, you know what I mean? And my least favorite, they have like set types of episodes they do. And my least favorite one was when they showed you who the killer was first. But it does have its own set of suspense, and its own set of mechanics and how it does work. And I don't think it can ruin the show, but at the same time, I don't know. I haven't seen it either, but I don't think it can ruin a show. But if they do it right, it can be done pretty decently.
And I think when you say that too, like we also went to film school, and so we took screenwriting, and so maybe that's also where the writer in me kicks in. I'm like, well, you're doing this, so I can kind of assume this and this is gonna happen. That's kind of why I'm like, I'm a little bit more critical about this stuff, but I enjoy. I'm not a big fan of procedurals, but I always want Jamie Alexander. To me, I've seen everything she's been in, I've liked, and so I'm gonna keep watching it again because it's Jamie Alexander, and I am a guy who is led by my wrong head. But speaking of Jamie Alexander and Asgard, have you heard about the rumor of Hulk appearing in Thor 3 Ragnarok? And if we have a picture, and then go ahead.
I totally heard about that.
Oh my God! Look at that. Thoughts, dude. Thoughts.
It's okay. So I'm excited. I really hope that it's true, for several reasons. Obviously, everybody loves the Hulk in Avengers. Yep. Like everybody says, like that's the best Hulk they've seen cinematic so far. You know what I mean? Like obviously, we want to see more of the Hulk. Mm-hmm. I like movie Thor. I like that character. I don't necessarily like Thor in the comics, but I do like movie Thor are like okay. Mm-hmm. But I think Hulk being in Thor 3 with the way Thor 2 ended would be like just the right spice that we need for Thor 3 to be a pretty kick-ass movie. You know what I mean? And there's like so many, like, my head spins with all the possibilities they could do. They could do like sort of a little half Planet Hulk thing, you know what I mean? Maybe Thor and him are like stranded on some gladiator world or something. You know what I mean?
Planet Hulk, Planet Hulk, World War Hulk, maybe.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like sort of like or Planet Hulk light, you know what I mean? Like mixed with some sort of Thor, and obviously Loki's behind a lot of things. Because the last time we saw Loki, he's usurped the throne. Yep. And so we kind of have to follow that up. But I thought, because Marvel's been doing superhero movies different for a long
Yep.
time now. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, they're a good way to shake things up. Is the superhero duo that we haven't really seen the Marvel team up movie.
Yeah.
We've seen next year coming. We're gonna start seeing the Versus movie.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman coming up, and then we got Captain America.
Captain America 3 Civil War. It's Captain America versus Iron Man.
War.
Yes.
We had Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Which was a little bit of a buddy cop team up with Black Widow and Captain America, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? And we had a little elements of the Falcon in there too.
Dude, I love the Falcon. I want to see more Falcon in Civil War 3.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's a good idea if they just had the Hulk in there. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a good idea to do like these little team up movies. You know what I mean? Because it's something different that we haven't seen yet. It's something different that no one's really doing. You know what I mean? Like, this two heroes kind of come together and like do a movie. Yeah, we did the big Avengers, event movie. You know what I mean? That had never been done before, but now it is, and it's going to be done all the time. You know what I mean? We're getting like a superhero team up movie. I mean, like a big team superhero movie like every other year now. You know what I mean? We got X-Men. When we don't have Avengers, we got Justice League. You know what I mean? We got like all these teams right now. I think a superhero team up movie would be a good idea. Any thoughts?
No, I'm more excited about Civil War. I'm more excited about Hulk in Thor because I want to see more of. I don't like Hulk. I'm not a big Hulk fan, but I actually am excited for seeing him interact with the other Marvel universe outside of the Avengers, and I like seeing him with Thor, and I like that. I am really excited for that idea. But like you said, next year though, it's gonna be a big year for movies. Like you said, like we have Batman versus Superman, Deadpool, Captain America: Civil War, X-Men: Apocalypse. I already know I'm gonna be broke just movie-wise next year because I'm gonna be spending all these monies. I speak good English. All my money in theaters. So, but I am more excited about. I want to see more Mark Ruffalo Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did you also hear about the rumor about what was it? So apparently the rumor is the Fantastic Four that Fox and Marvel going off into this was that. So Fantastic Four, Marvel made a deal where that Fantastic Four go back to Marvel, so that they would keep the X-Men, and because of that, they're going to be using Hellfire Club. They're making a TV show about the Hellfire Club in the 60s, which I believe I have a picture after this one. And this movie, Fantastic Four, I don't know if you saw it, TJ, but it was not that good. It had so much. You saw the trailer. I'm sure you saw the trailer. And they're going to make a show about this, the Hellfire Club, which is kind of like an Illuminati kind of group. There is a real Hellfire Club from what I know, and it's about Emma Frost from the X-Men now, and how they're pretty much trying to bring in mutants and control mutants. I never understood I never was a big fan of the Hellfire Club, but it sounds interesting to me. Just the fact that Fox and Marvel made a deal with the X-Men. For the X-Men, it's kind of what mostly intrigued me about this news, that they would give Fantastic Four away for the X-Men and make a Hellfire Club TV show based in the 60s. That's what I find the most interesting out of all this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, they've been talking about. We've been hearing little tidbits about them doing an X-Men series,
right?
Lately, and I mean, I think that's an interesting way to go. Like a period piece that's also X-Men. Like, I really liked the movie X-Men First Class, and that was kind of a period piece. I thought that did well. I liked Days of Futures Past, and I mean, that was also a period piece.
I love Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I think when they're doing that with X-Men, I think it kind of works really well. It kind of lends itself to that sort of, I don't know, that form of storytelling. But I guess we don't technically see a lot of that right now.
Yeah.
Like powers mixed with sort of other eras.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep. Alrighty, so I don't know how much time we have left, but this is my big. Oh no, one other final news about movies and John McClane. So, CJ, I know you're a big Die Hard fan. Well, I'm pretty sure you're a big Die Hard fan. Oh, there we go, right behind me. There he is, Mr. Willis. Can you see that? There you go. So, did you hear the rumor that, well, not rumor, but I guess it's happening, is that they're making a Die Hard prequel, an origin story about John McClane before the event of Die Hard. But isn't Die Hard the origin story of Die Hard? He's just a good cop, wrong place, wrong time, bad situation kind of thing. Isn't that what Die Hard is?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. Like, Die Hard is the origin story.
Right.
Like, I mean, the origin story of John McClane would be what? Some dude is sitting around eating donuts and being angry to his wife and being a horrible father. Like, that sounds horrible. I don't want to watch that at all. Like, it sounds like a movie about a guy who's constantly losing. Like, I mean, some guy who has a horrible life and there's no punchline. Like, you know what I mean?
His
like,
life is a punchline.
Yeah.
I was just personally, I'm just like, oh my god, another prequel movie. Like you said too, it's him getting divorced, and I want to see him giving tickets in uniform. That's what it should be, a comedy, and he should be getting divorced, and being, it should be John McClane Mall Cop. That's what it should be. That's how I see it.
Oh my god! Like, he loses his hair. He starts balding.
Dude, but yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the state of the Die Hard franchise, CJ? Like the first three, I think the first two I liked a lot. Wait, is 2 the one with Samuel L. Jackson, or is that 3?
No, 3 is the one with Samuel L. Jackson. 2's like the one at the winter airport. It's like kind of weird. It's like kind of cool, but I'd rather not watch it. You know what I mean? I don't know. And but like, I mean, 1's awesome, and I think 3 is awesome. And then 4 is like passable.
Is 4 the one with Kevin Smith?
Yeah, 4 is the one with Kevin Smith. It's like passable, but it's like, whatever. I actually thought 5 was pretty decent, though.
I didn't see 5, but I heard a lot of mixed reviews about 5 that people were like, it's not great, it's not good. It's good, it's not bad. I haven't seen 5.
I mean, see, the thing is like, I think 1 and 3 are good, are good.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think they're good, but the rest of them, I can't say that about. You know what I mean? The rest of them, they're just okay movies to watch. You know what I mean? If you just want to take in an action flick, that's what the rest of them are.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go see it just to see what the hell they do with that movie with John McClane as a beat cop. But I
Do we know any casting news? Are they going with Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
That would be amazing. Alrighty, so we have 5 minutes left, CJ. And now this is the big piece that I've been waiting for. CJ, you know I'm a big Power Rangers fan, don't you?
Totes.
Like, how big of a Power Rangers fan would you say I am? Like, go ahead.
On a scale of 1 to
10,
the biggest.
Yeah.
You're like half past that.
So remember I wrote I wrote a spec script for Power Rangers when I was 21, and I sent it to New Zealand to get a writer's job. And then so you know that they're making a Power Rangers movie reboot, right? Like, and apparently the movie is Mighty Morphin. And so they've already started casting the new Rangers. And here we have Naomi Scott, who is apparently in The Martian, which I want to see, but she's going to be the new Pink Ranger, which makes sense, right? She's going to be Kimberly, supposedly, if they're doing Mighty Morphin. So that's Naomi Scott as the Pink Ranger. If we can go to the next Ranger, we could see who that is. That is Crowd Montgomery. I don't know who he is. I was going to say Jason, but he's too pretty, and not Rocky, because Rocky's Mexican. So I don't know what they're doing. And then the next guy is going to be, here you go. This guy is supposed to be the Black Ranger. So I'm guessing Adam, because it's not supposed to be Zach. And then the next guy is going to be the Blue Ranger. This is what blew my mind. I'm like, he's supposed to be Billy, and then that totally, my mind exploded, because I always think they're going to be Mighty Morphin. And Mighty Morphin has always been, the cast calls for Zach, Kimberly, Billy, Trini, and Jason. That cast is not those characters from the original movie, unless they're doing an alternate timeline and alternate races. That is kind of what I'm like, what the frack is going on with this? You know?
I mean, are we sure that they're gonna use the same names? I mean, isn't any name as good as another one?
It is, but supposedly that's what the rumor was, and it was confirmed that they are mighty. It is Mighty Morphin. So the plot of the story is this, because I'm sure everyone who watches this will understand what I'm talking about the Morphing Grid. So apparently the story is this: the current Power Rangers team, which is Dino Charge, are fighting some villain, but they're protecting the Morphing Grid, and the Morphing Grid is what gives the Rangers their powers to morph. And so we have 2 minutes left. I'm gonna wrap it up as fast as I can. It gives them the powers to morph. And so they're protecting it from some villains, but they're also seeing the past, the present, and the future. And something happens that it sends them back to the past to where they have to get a new team of teenagers with attitude. And so far, those are the 4 out of 5 or out of 6 that we have, is that cast. And according to them, the rumor is it's either Zach, the original 5 Power Rangers, from Mighty Morphin from '93, or an alternate timeline altogether. I don't know how I feel about this. I just know that I went to the bathroom in anger when I saw this news.
Boy.
I know you like Power Rangers as a kid. How do you feel about this cast?
I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Because, I mean, who cares if the black guy is the Blue Ranger or the Asian guy is the Black Ranger?
I know. It shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter.
Is it really that big a deal?
It is to me. It is to me, CJ. I'm like, Peter Parker's white. Zach Taylor should be black. I don't. It kind of goes back to the whole superhero thing about, they made a big deal about superheroes and their race. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, if they're gonna stick to Mighty Morphin and it's supposed to be the original team, again, that is the big speculation too. That it's supposed to be that team.
But see, my thing is that Spider-Man, the original creation, he was white.
Right.
The original Power Rangers were all Asian because it's a Japanese property.
But you're talking about Super Sentai. We're talking about Power Rangers, my friend. Power Rangers. There's a difference between Super Sentai and Power Rangers.
Which is just a recreation of something that was already made.
No, one of them is really good and one of them is really cheesy.
You want the cheese, is what you said.
I want the cheese.
Raise you in Wisconsin because you need the cheese.
Well, you are from Wisconsin, good sir. So we're out of time, CJ. This was a good show. I think the next show we're gonna have a clip show. All right. And the episode after that's gonna be the best of. Alrighty, cool. So again, CJ, thank you for joining us. Thank you for nerding out with me, and thank you to my crew, Tom, Jim, Fabian, Brian, and Tim, for putting up with me, and CJ with our nerd talk. Goodbye. Adios. Jimmy Alexander. If you want to drop in some beatbox, CJ. Sliding into.
What are you even doing?
I don't know. But I'll keep doing this.
Oh boy.
There he is.
Like, I don't know, Chewbacca in Heat or something.